Respected Professor A.P. Singh, Dr. Manjushri Sardesh Pandey, Professor Kulud Sharma, Professor R.K. Saha, ladies and gentlemen, Amar Bangla, Bhai of Ananda. I'm delighted to be here for this seminar which will unravel the greatness of the classic language, Bangla. My humble salutations, Bengal and Bangla, on this happy occasion. You know, along with Kabiguru, we all say with pride, Bangla Mati, Bangla Jol, Bangla Bayu, Bangla Phal, Punoho, Punoho, Punoho Ke Bhagwan. Yes, we are proud to be here as votaries of the great Bengali language. First of all, I thank the director, Professor A.P. Singh, for the nice words he has spoken about me. And I wish my wife were also here to listen to this. May I share a happy secret with you? After taking over as governor of the state, I had had the occasion to attend many conferences and seminars. Even in this auditorium I have. But may I tell you, this is the most dignified and most purposeful audience that I have seen. Congratulations to each one of you. I was a little scared when I see the photographers in a seminar. I'm a little scared. Because last time, for an international seminar, I was a speaker. One photographer took my photograph with a high technology, and he also did something in the Photoshop. I looked like a combination of Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan. Proudly, I showed my photograph to my wife. She looked at that photograph and said, better than the original. So I'm very sad when I see photographers in front of me. We are speaking about the language. What is the importance of Bengali language? Kabiguru has said, Bengali language is a language. Bengali language is a language that has rich cultural heritage and unique identity. It is shaped by history, literature and traditions. This is a definition given by Kabiguru Rabindranath Tagore. It still holds good, isn't it? Bengali language is a language that has a rich cultural heritage and a unique identity. It is shaped by history, literature and traditions of Bengal. And of course we have here Satyajit Ray. He said Bengal is not a language. It's a way of life. It is a language of our ancestors, traditions and emotions. Bengal is not just a language. It is a way of life. It is a language of our ancestors, traditions and emotions, said Satyajit Ray. I am a humble student of linguistics, literature and linguistics. In linguistics, there are so many theories about how languages originated. The basic theory is bow-bow theory, ding-dong theory, poo-poo theory, gesture theory, social contract and construct theory, cognitive theory, a lot of theories are there. Bow-bow theory, as we know, even before we know any language, a child who sees a dog, how will he express it to the mother? Bow-bow, isn't it? And poo-poo is that emotional interjection. If you don't like something, you say poo-poo. And if you like something, you say, oh. So language is born by the bow-bow theory, poo-poo theory. And the most attractive to me is a ding-dong theory. That is music, Everything has got a rhyme. Everything in the world has a rhyme. There is music in everywhere. That is why it is said, Dryden says that from heavenly harmony, this universal frame began, isn't it? From harmony, from music, from harmony, from heavenly harmony, this universal frame began. Don't we believe that the world began with the primordial word, Om, Om. See, it is from sound that the world began. And there is something called the music of spheres. There is a concept called the music of spheres. And also we speak about the swan song. Yes, everything is related to music. That is why Shakespeare says, if music be the food of love, play on. If music be the food of love, play on. Everything is built on music. There is the music of the sphere. There is nothing which music cannot achieve. Look at Narada. He can enter anywhere. Narada's lyre, Narada's veena. With that, he can enter anywhere. There is no restriction on him. And also, Orpheus. Orpheus in Greek mythology. The great man on his lyre. When he plays on his lyre, all animate and inanimate come to standstill. In the Kathopanishad, we have the story of Nachiketa. Nachiketa is the only one who goes to heaven, goes to hell, understands the secrets of death and comes back. Similarly, with his music, Orpheus could enter the netherworld in Hades. Hades is guarded by the Cerberus, the three-headed dog, ferocious. But Orpheus played on the lyre. He also fell to the spell of music. He could enter hell and get Eurydice, his wife was in hell. That is the greatness of music. And language is born from music. I believe in that theory. There are so many theories about that. We have something called, around, there is a nightingale in the forest. There is a small insect there. That insect is arrogant. But though small in size, it is big in ego. It will measure every animal there. It will measure the lion, the tiger, and say ridiculous things, belittling them. One day, this insect, measured the nightingale and told her, "You're only 2 angula," that's a measurement, a small measurement. "You're only 2 angula long and 1 angula wide," looking at its punitive size. The nightingale was offended. The nightingale started singing in full-throated ease, as the poet would say. The entire world came to a standstill, mesmerized by the music of the nightingale. After the song, the nightingale asked Angula, who ridiculed her, he asked, "Can you measure my music? Can you measure my music? Can you measure a language?" No. That is why we say, Sangeetam api sangityam, saraswastya stanadvayam, egam apadamadiram, anyad alojanamridam. Sangeetam api sangityam, saraswastya stanadvayam, egam apadamadiram, anyad alojanamridam. Our language, all our languages, Sanskrit in particular, and all other classic languages, have been reverberating in the minds of the world because great scholars, great pundits have contributed to it. We are proudly speaking about the Navaratnas in the court of Ujjain. Vikramaditya's Navaratnas. Thanvandari Shapanahama Shangu, Vedalapatta Kadakarpara Galidasa, Kado Varahamagiro, Nrabado Sumayam, Ratnani Varariti, Tava Vikramasya. These are all great people who contributed to science and technology, to knowledge, to language. Language, I think even before God was born, language was there. I have a reason for saying this. In the Bible it is said, in the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Before God said, let there be light. Let there be light, and light there was in the book of Genesis. Let there be light, and light there was. God said. Said means language was there. Even before the universe was begun, language was there. God's language is different, as we know. Everything in the world begins twice, born twice. First in the mind, then in the field. That is why it is said, Milton says, the mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. Isn't it right? The mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell or a hell of heaven. That is why Gerard Manley Hopkins said, the mind has mountains and chasms no man fathom. Everything is born twice, once first in the world, once in the mind, then in the field. You see the great paintings of Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel in Vatican. Before he dipped his pen, before he dipped his brush in paint, he had a vision of what the day of judgment will be. The vision should precede action. Vision always precedes action. Look at Shakespeare. Look at Kalidasa. Before they put their quill into ink, they had a vision of what Shakuntala will be, what Vikramoorvasiyam should be. And Shakespeare knew, He had a vision of what Hamlet will be, what Macbeth will be, what As You Like It will be, what Othello will be. Always it is vision which precedes action. That is the vision which created languages. You know, the great revolutions of the world, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, or the great revolutions, India's freedom struggle, everything happens in the vision of one man or a group of men. Yes, it is that vision which comes into action. Language came before that. There was a vision by the primitive fathers of how to communicate. Even gestures were there, you know. There are some languages which are still based on gestures. The growth and development of language underscores the growth and development of human civilization. You know, even silence is language. Silence is language. You know, in Ujjain again, in the court of Vikramaditya, King Vikramaditya is on his deathbed. The courtiers and ministers said, this is time for the coronation of the young prince. But Vikramaditya said, no. Let him go to the people. Let him learn something from the villages. The prince dutifully goes, spends 1 year with the common people incognito, understands their feelings, their experiences, their emotions, and their worries, troubles, comes back. The courtiers say, yes, he is fit enough to be king. Vikramaditya says, no. Let him go to the forest. There is a hermit there. Learn from him. The prince goes beautifully, meets the hermit. The hermit only says, go to the forest, listen to the voices there. The prince goes and listens to many, many voices which he has not heard in the palace. He comes and repeats it to the hermit. The hermit says, no, not enough. He again goes back. With rapt attention, he listens to the voices there. Then he comes and tells the hermit, I have heard 2 new voices, new sounds. What is that? I heard the sound of daybreak. I heard the sound of honey getting filled in the flower. Then the hermit said, now you are fit enough to be king. A king, a leader, should know, should hear what others not hear, should see what others not see. He should be able to give the sound of silence. In a sound of silence, silence is also language. That is why it is said, especially in marital relation, if you cannot understand my silence, you cannot understand my words. Silence is also language. And silence is a very potent language. You know, there is no limit to language as such. Language is growing. You know, the English language, so many beauty about the English language is that it borrows words from many, many languages. Restoration. Charles II was brought back to England. Then he came with him, with a lot of courtiers from France. So French language, French traditions became popular in England. A lot of French words have seeped into the English language. You know, so many Indian words from Sanskrit, from Hindi, from various languages, even from my mother tongue, Malayalam, have crept into the English language. Guru is from Hindi. It is used in English now. Avatar is an English word now. Bangla, which was borrowed from Gujarati, is now an English word. Chutney is an English word. Shampoo is an English word. Pajama is an English word. Every language grows by borrowing. Of course, there are the Puritans who say no new words should come. But a classic language grows like Bengal by borrowing when it is required. Adaptation is very necessary for the growth and development of language. And I remember, not knowing the language is also important. I studied in a convent school and college. We had a principal who was a very nice person. After his retirement, he found an avocation to himself. He will go to the local hospital and try to pacify the patients there. That is his mission. One day, he saw a Japanese young boy. He met with a motorcycle accident. He was admitted to the hospital. He was writhing in pain. This priest went and prayed for him. And on and off, this Japanese boy would say, Kishi, Mishima, Aishi. The priest did not know what it means, but the priest was very happy that I was there in his last hours to administer prayers for him. After 5 years, for a function in our college, the Japanese ambassador was invited. The priest told him about his Kishi-mishi story. And it's, what does it mean, Kishi-mishi aishi in Japanese? The Japanese ambassador said, that means, please take your feet from the oxygen tube. Please take your feet from the oxygen tube. Kishi, Mishima, Aishi. So unless you know the language and you pretend that you know the language, that can also be counterproductive. Yes, what we need, as I said, is mission and action. You know, the Qazi Nazrul Islam, he has stated, Bengali language is a rose with many petals. Bengali language is a rose with many petals, each petal representing different aspect of culture and heritage, Qazi Nazrul Islam. This analogy of a rose, it reminds me of a story from the biography of the great botanist Robert Ardrey. This botanist was walking in the jungles of Africa with his students. He saw a beautiful flower. Enamored of its beauty, he came to pluck it. To his consternation, he found the petals of the flower flew in various directions. When he looked at this wonderful thing that is happening, to his adding contribution to his consternation, these petals again flew back and converged into a point, and the flower is again born. Then he found what flew off in various directions were not the beautiful petals of a beautiful flower. It was a lot of ugly insects. A lot of ugly insects flying off, then coming back and converging to a point, again forming into the beautiful flower. This transformation of ugliness into beauty, this transformation is the negative to the positive. That is what Qazi Nazrul Islam says. Bengali language is a rose with many petals, each petal representing different aspects of culture and heritage. The language is a binding force. Language is a focal point where ugliness can be converted into beauty, where the negative can be converted into positive. That is what Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore and others did. You know, even now, when I stand here, what reverberates in my mind are the words of Rabindranath Tagore. We said about the Bengal's greatness which he sung, and when he says, leave this singing and chanting and telling of beads, he is where that God, he is where the path breaker is making stone, he is where the tiller is tilling the soil. That we call the lowest, lowliest and least of society. Language has shaped up the sentiments of a nation. That is why a nation's greatness is measured not by the number of wars they have won, but the greatness in literature and art which they have. Can you ever think of India without Kalidasa and Bhavabodhi or Bhasha? Can you think of, ever imagine, an England without Shakespeare or Milton? Can we imagine Greece without Aristotle, Socrates and Plato? A nation's destiny, a nation's greatness is measured by the cultural heritage that it has, the language. That is why it is said, you know, mother, when we say Janani Janmabhumischa, Swargadapi Girisi, I think we should also include the mother tongue, because our mother tongue is mother. You know, our Bangla is our mother, English is foster mother. You know, certainly the foster mother will come never before the mother. And we have to come back to our culture, our traditions. I do not want to take more of your time, because I remember this language and speeches, you know. Speech is nothing but word by word. When you have listeners, you feel like speaking more. I had a discomfiture for speaking and giving a long speech. Sometime back, when I was district collector, which is the equivalent to district magistrate here in Kerala, there was an international interfaith conclave in my district. So many great speakers from all over the world came there. One day it was the turn of Swami Chinmayananda. You know, his discourses on the Bhagavad Gita is very famous. So being the local district collector, I also went there to pay my respects to him and also to listen to his lectures on Bhagavad Gita. You know, there was a message, an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The flight of Chinmayananda has been delayed by 1 hour. That is what was the second announcement. In the meantime, our district collector Ananda Bose will speak. My God, unannounced. I am asked to speak on something. I asked him, what is the topic? You know the topic? Dialectical materialism and the essence of Indian philosophy. I haven't understood anything. Have you understood anything? Dialectical materialism and the essence of Indian philosophy. I am asked to speak for that. For 15 minutes I somehow managed. Then I got a chit. When you get a chit during a speech, it means please wind up. I was very happy. You know what was written on the chit? On the chit it was written, Swamiji's flight has been delayed by 1 more hour for to speak on. So I had to speak on dialectical materialism and the essence of Indian philosophy for 2 hours. Look at my flight. This is scene number 1. Scene number 2. I happened to receive an award, UN award, for my work in the field of housing. Global Best Practice Award. I went to the UN to receive that. I was going to 3 minutes to speak there. I spoke there. Happily, I came to a hotel in Manhattan. I get a long distance call from India. Now, at that time, this mobile was not very popular. And the other end was an old lady. She asked me, am I speaking to Dr. Bose? I said, yes, ma'am. Doctor, I need your help. Please tell me, ma'am. Doctor, I am not able to sleep for the last 3 days. I need your help. I thought maybe she thought I am a medical doctor. So I told madam, I am not a medical doctor. No, I know you very well, you know. When you were district collector here, I was the professor of English, Mary Magdalene from that college. Oh, I said, how are you, madam? How is your health? Oh, my health is not good, you know, doctor, see, I am having. I said, do you have not able to sleep as I told you? I didn't know what to make out of it. I asked madam, do you have hypertension, blood pressure? Yes, I have hypertension. Are you in the habit of taking sleeping pills? Yes, I am in the habit of taking sleeping pills. Maybe ma'am, you would have forgotten to take it for the last 3 days. That's why you're not getting sleep. No, I will take it for barbiturate. She said, all the medicine. In what way can I help you, ma'am? Dr. Bose, do you remember the speech which you made on dialectical materialism? 1 minute after you started it, I started sleeping. Can you say that speech once again over the phone? I want to sleep. So I don't want you to tell me that. Moreover, I had a recent discomfiture, you know. I am chancellor of more than 50 universities here. So education is my forte. I love the field of education. So I spend all my time, most of my time, in improving the quality of education in the universities. So all the universities which hold convocations, I make it a point to go there and give a speech on education, culture and all great things. Then, inspired by the listening audience, once I spoke for an hour, at the end of it, looking at the students, I said, we need educational reform, we need industrial reform, we need cultural reform, we need social reform. One student from the audience said, but you need some chloroform. Before I say that, thank you very much. Wish you the very best.